Hey guys, welcome back to Jesse Invests. So today we're going to look at how my dividend portfolio performed in the month of May. Now that it is a few days into June, we're going to look at how it performed in May, and we are going to see where I'm at overall. And yeah, without further ado, hit that like button down below, hit that sub button, helps me out a lot, and let's jump in. So right here in front, as you guys can already see right here, we are in the app M1, which is where my portfolio is at. We can see that I am up 30% all time to date. I have $3,000 invested. I'm up $500 in returns, and that's up 30%. So that's crazy. Only $2,500 is my own money, and it's worth $3,000 right now. So that's really exciting. I have $4 in cash uninvested in the portfolio. This is the performance chart so far. $400 of gains are from just the value of the stocks I buy going up. And then we have about $100 of those gains being from dividends earned. So that's super cool that over 20% of the gains are from dividends earned. Cool. So, okay. All my investments are divided into different slices. So before we go into the slices, let's actually look at my holdings. So my holdings, sorted by how well they're doing, are JP Chase, Texas Roadhouse, Kroger, MasterCard, Costco, SMH, which is an ETF that invests in semiconductors, so AMD and NVIDIA, Microsoft, VYMI, which is an international ETF, Caterpillar, Apple, Aflac, Waste Management, McDonald's, VU, which is the S&P 500 in an ETF, schd, which is a dividends ETF, Eli Lilly, Target, and one I just added, which I'll talk about more later on in the video, which is Main Street Capital. I have a total of 18 positions. 14 of them are individual stocks and 4 are ETFs. But let's go next into my best performers here. So all-time best performers are JP Chase. I'm up 70%. Texas Roadhouse is in second place, up 50%. And then Kroger is in third place. I've returned 47% on my money. So those are huge numbers. Also, honorable mentions, MasterCard and Costco also doing well. Now, what are my worst performers? Everything I invest in is for long term. I'm thinking 5, 10, 15, 20, maybe even 30 years out. So Target, Eli Lilly, hang on to you guys. Now let's go back to my portfolio. Let's look at the slices. So in each slice, I have different stocks. So like in the tech slice, that's where my Microsoft, semiconductors, and Apple sit at. And then if we go to like let's say my growth slice, that is going to be where my ETFs are at, things like that. So my best slice is going to be my financials, which is up 56% to date. And my least is going to be healthcare, which is just Eli Lilly in there right now, which is down 12%. If you followed me for a while, you'll see there's a new slice in here, income and bonds, up 4%, which right now just includes Main Street Capital. Because Main Street is an income generation stock, it's less about the appreciation of the actual stock, more about the income it generates. So I made a whole section for this called Income and Bonds, because you may see down the road as I get older, I add different things in here like treasury bills, stocks, things like that, as I want to balance a little bit more income as to divert risk as I get older. But right now it's just Main Street Capital. And so those are, the ones I have in here. That's what that looks like. Next, let's go to Investment Return Visualizer. So actually, let's go to dividend income next. I know that's what you guys are really here for. That's what you want to see. So without further ado, let's jump straight into that. Let's move that tab over. We'll jump into that next. So portfolio changes for May. I added Maine. This is my 18th holding. I have 4 ETFs, 14 stocks now. Dividend changes there's a dividend change to Apple. So the yield increase went up from 0.50% to an annual dividend of 0.52%. It adds 1 cent per year to the dividend payment that I make. So not much of an impact to me, but it's nice to see it going up. Costco. The yield increased from 0.46 to a 0.51% dividend. This adds 6 cents per year to the dividend payment that they pay me. A little bit more impactful, but still not much. I deposited twice this month. So this month I got paid 3 times instead of twice. It's just the way the days landed. So I used that opportunity to put a little bit more into this account. So I had an $80 deposit on May 1st, and in the last couple days of May, I had a $40 deposit. And then there was a $3 monthly fee for investing on the M1 platform. So net money added was a positive $117 added to the portfolio. I bought $3 of SMH, all these things, I'm not gonna list them out here. This is what I bought, and I sold nothing. And then the dividends I earned are 17 cents from MasterCard. I earned 13 cents from Apple, 15 cents from Costco, 68 cents from Caterpillar. And then I just realized that I don't have the information from the previous dividend punched in here, so I'm gonna magically add it in right now. Boom, okay. So now we can see that there was no change to the MasterCard dividend, there was no change to the Caterpillar dividend, but there was a 30% increase on the payment from Apple, and Costco paid me 15% more this payment, a couple cents more. So that was nice. A total dividend increase from these companies, 5 cents. So the last time these 4 companies paid me, they paid me a total of 5 cents less than now. So that's nice. Total dividends is $1.13. So I will spend a second to break this down. $1.13 in dividends for the month of May is not very much. We do have months where we've been making a lot more. If we go here to my M1 dividend income page, we can see here that we earned $1.13 this month, $1.16 last month, but we did have an $11 month in March. So this does vary a lot, but at the end of the day, guys, I am a newer investor. It's a newer portfolio. I have $3,000 in it. I don't have 30,000. I don't have 50,000. I don't have 100,000 invested. So I'm a smaller YouTuber, smaller content creator. So I'm just getting started. So $1 is kind of average, with bigger months going up to $11. But we are still aiming to pass this $56 that we earned in dividends last year. Last year we had an average of $4.73 a month. This year we are averaging $3.13. So, and we're only halfway through. So we will see where we get. Looking forward to beating last year's payments for sure. But yeah, that's what we made, guys. We made $1.13. Now, investment returns visualizer. So this is a great chart that I love to update. It's so fun. It's so fun to look at to me. This is where I compare the portfolio I just showed you, the M1 dividends, to the performance of my Roth IRA account, which I also make videos about, my Bitcoin investments, and I compare it to the S&P 500 benchmark, and then I compare it to the gold that I have invested. So in June, here's what happened. Last month we had gold. It was on top. Gold was shooting up and outperforming Bitcoin and outperforming at the S&P 500, outperforming my dividends portfolio, and outperforming my Roth IRA. Roth IRA was on the bottom, the rest were kind of neck and neck, but gold was shooting them all out of the water. This month things changed. Gold plummeted, and that is because gold is I believe it's a money weighted return. Yes, it is a money weighted return. So I added more gold to my position, so it fell dramatically, the total percent return. So now we have Bitcoin still going upwards. So Bitcoin has become the #1 best performer out of all my investments. Gold is #2, right there with M1 dividends, about the same return percentage as gold. And then the S&P 500 is right beneath those, trailing right behind. We may see the S&P 500 pass my dividends and gold soon, shortly. And then still trailing behind is the Roth IRA. But the Roth IRA is doing a little bit of catch-up work here. It's trying to close the gap. So that's the investment returns visualizer, guys. We're going to close that out. Next, last but not least, we're going to look at the Div Tracker. My M1 dividends, the annual dividend income is expected to come out at $62.88 right now. That's $5.24 a month that I get paid from this account. I get paid $1 a week, 17 cents a day, 1 cent an hour, and I have a dividend yield of 2.42%. So now let's dive into Maine to close out. Why did I pick Maine? Why did I invest in Maine? So Maine has a strong monthly dividend. If we go to Dividend and then we search up Maine, we can see that Maine's dividend is pretty nice. It's on the list of contenders. It is in the kind of in the middle between its last year price. So that was a green flag to me. Its dividend yield of 8% shocked me, and it was a green flag to me. It's for dividend yield of 5%, maybe more accurate. It's still really high. That was a really high dividend. That stuck out to me. They're paying out a little over half of what they make to their dividend, so that's kind of average. I wouldn't say that that's dangerously high, but it's not like conservative either. So that's okay. And then we can see here that they average 12 dividends a year, which means they are a monthly dividend. So I was looking forward to having a monthly dividend again. I haven't had one of that since O Realty. So I'll be looking forward to a payment every month. They've been paying dividends for 19 years, so that's a really good history. It shows that the dividends are going to keep coming. And then we can see that the dividend growth has been 6% in the last 3 years, but on a more drawn out scale, it averages 4%. Now this dividend growth does pass the check mark. It is not crazy. It's at the low end of what I accept as dividend growth, because you got to think that the average inflation per year is 3 to 4%. So if the dividend is growing at 4% a year, that means the dividend is increasing at a rate that does fight inflation, but not anything more. So if we look at, say, like Kroger or something, Dividend KR, yeah, if we look at Kroger, we could see that it's growing at a 30% dividend growth rate. So that's a very phenomenal growth rate versus like the 4% of Maine. So this will fight inflation, which is nice, but we'll have to keep an eye on that and make sure the dividend keeps growing over time, for sure. I also like how occasionally there are special dividends that Maine pays out, so that is really nice. We can also see, it does say here, that's a good thing to note, that it does not include on future predictions like DGR3. So this 6% does not count special dividends. I imagine that it does not count that here either. So that's really nice. So it probably is more than 4% if you count the special dividends. So it checks off all the boxes here of my Dividend check for a company to add. That was a reason I added it. A secondary reason I added it was I wanted an income-focused stock to offset all the growth-focused plays. Like I said, I have a lot of things like Apple, Microsoft, the S&P 500. Those are nice, but rather than like 90% of my 90 or 100% of my companies in this portfolio being big growth plays with a little bit of dividend, I figured this could even it out, get something that's a little bit of growth, mostly income, to help get the payments coming in, help make the videos more exciting, have a main check every month. So we got that added to the portfolio for that reason. And then lastly, this is maybe a silly reason for some, but it is popular in the dividend investor community. I follow a lot of dividend investors on YouTube, watch a lot of content, consume a lot of content, and left, right, in the middle, I see people buying Main Street Capital, talking great things about it. So I have that anecdotal side of it of knowing that a lot of people I look up to that invest in dividends pick Main Street Capital and have held it for a very long time, and it's done well. So I figured it's about time I add it and get in the game. So yeah, thanks guys. To summarize that, $1.13 in dividends so far this month. We are up 30% in the M1 portfolio, up $500 with $3,000 invested. Stay tuned for the next month updates. I'm also, if it interests you guys, I'm also going to be doing deep dives of every stock I own in this portfolio. Kind of how I did with Maine just now. I did a shorter version of a deep dive, but I will be doing full 5 to 10 minute videos focused all around one company, each company off this holding list, so you guys can see why I picked them, why I still hold them, what I believe in them, pros and cons, bull and bear case about all of them. And then I will be doing a Roth IRA update video here shortly, as well as a net worth video, sneak peek into that. My net worth, there's a pretty big change to my net worth value just from last month. Really excited to share that, so keep an eye out for that video as well, guys. But yeah, thank you guys so much.